process can be. I can't imagine how many times you were asked about size and all of this.
Alrighty, friends, we are back in here. The Bears have traded their pick to the New York Giants. I should say the Giants have traded their pick to the Chicago Bears, and here we are. They are on the clock with 4 minutes left, and guys, it is time. I have a text message bet going on with good brother Alex Mercado, telling him that I thought the Chicago Bears were going to pick at number 12 they were going to trade to get Justin Fields. But here we go. This is very interesting. Let us hear what they are saying.
The Giants get back in return the Bears' first-round pick. Next year, they're 5 this year, and they're 4 next year.
So a 1, a 4, and a 5, including this pick.
This year. Next year's 1, 5 this year, 4 next year. The Bears are coming up. It looks like quarterback time again in Chicago.
Here we go. Is it Justin Fields? Will it be Justin Fields? Can it be Justin Fields? And it is a very crazy time.
The Bears team desperately needs. You see Mac Jones, he's available for them. Justin Fields is available for them. Booger, what are you thinking?
I'm going Mac Jones because do they dare go down the same road as Mr. Trubisky, the dual threat guy with the athletic ability? They've seen that in Justin Fields. So do they go down that road, or do you go with the guy that can play the position the old
Very
school
interesting.
way?
So, okay, now that we are listening to what they are saying right here, let us break this down, right? Before we get too excited, they gave up they swap picks for this year, a 1 next year, a 5 this year, a 4 next year. Okay. If that's the case, I think it's going to be Justin Fields. I think he's going to Chicago. And I think this was the guy that at one point was the number 2 highly rated guy right next to Trevor Lawrence. And I think a lot of people have overthought this. And I think right now, at 11, everything being equal, if they land Justin Fields, I think it is worth the risk and reward. I think Mac Jones to a lot of people would have been a very safe pick, but this is very crazy where we're at right now, and we will see how this all breaks down. I will let us see how this plays out. We are waiting to see where the pick drops. We are here on Sports from the Couch here on Mercado Airwaves. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. Follow me on Twitter at Mike M Media, Instagram, Mike Mercado Media, and of course, you can follow the entire network on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves and the show on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk. We are watching it here on ESPN. The Bears have swapped draft picks with the Giants. They are now at number 11. They have traded away this year's number 1 draft pick. They have traded away next year's number 1, this year's 5, and next year's 4. Who will it be, Mac Jones or Justin Fields? Some rumors were saying that it was going to be possibly an offensive lineman. I don't know if that is going to be the case. We are just waiting patiently to see how this thing plays out. And I will be going live right now on Facebook too. This, of course, is going to be on YouTube, but we want to give the people a live video to see how everybody plays this out.
Before the commissioner is making his way to the stage, there will be a special presentation, and then he will announce the Bears pick as they have traded up.
We are here live, as you guys can see. We are recording this for Sports from the Couch. The pick is in. The Chicago Bears. Well, okay, well, now they're doing a whole shtick and they're doing promos. I don't know, Commissioner, if you know this, but a lot of people are very interested to see what the Chicago Bears are doing, and nobody's interested in the NFL and their goodwill. So let us see how this plays out. Will it be Justin Fields? Will it be Mac Jones? Will it be a surprise? How will Ryan Pace mess this up? We'll find out. Will he mess this up? They have traded away the number 1 pick. They have swapped with the Giants. They now will be at pick 11. It is in. They gave up a 1. This year's 5, next year's 4, and next year's 1. So it's interesting to see how this plays out for your Chicago Bears. We appreciate each and every one of you who's joining us here on Sports from the Couch. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media, Instagram Mike Mercado Media, and the show is on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk. We are here live recording on YouTube, making sure to see our live reactions, and I hope all you guys are excited to see how this plays out. We are in the studio, the Mercado Airwaves studio. The Bears, Ryan Pace. I actually tweeted it out, and I said it to good brother Alex Mercado. I thought it would be Justin Fields. Let's see if I am correct.
Boy, how exciting
the pick is in.
With the
11th pick
in the 2021
in the 2021 draft.
The
Chicago Bears select Justin Fields is a Chicago Bear, as he should be, a top-tier prospect. This was a guy that was one of the top 2 highly coveted guys coming into college, out of college, played in big moments. We've seen him against big competition. It is when we're looking at this point in the draft, it is a guy that was slighted. This is a position you wanted to be in. This is the guy you wanted. There are not many questions about him. You could talk about size, or you could talk about epilepsy. The fact remains this was a top-tier talent that now is playing for your Chicago Bears. And it is not a guessing game with this man, with this kid. It is somebody who is in the Heisman Trophy run. And that is something this team has not had before. And when you're talking about trying to go for it right now, you went and got your guy. And it's all about your value. What value in picks is it for Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy when their job is on the line? You swap number 1 picks. So now, instead of being at 20, you're at 11. You give up a number 1 pick next year. Here's the point. If you're good next year, that 1 really doesn't matter. At 4, what are you going to do? And at 5, what are you going to do? The point is you can always get back in the draft. What you can't do is find yourself a quarterback whose prospects are as high as they should be. This was a man, this was a stud, this was an athlete that was one of the top-tier guys coming out. And because we see it every year in the NFL, we see people overthink it and slander these dudes' names. And because of that, the Bears might have lucked out. Now, if you want to sit here and be a little worried that it's Ryan Pace making this trade, absolutely understand that, because it's Ryan Pace. But you gotta trust the talent. And you know what? It's put up or shut up time for this team. It's one thing if you're a quarterback guru, right? Like Matt Nagy says he is, why he was brought in here. You give him maybe a little bit of slack, right? Because Mitch is Mitch. This is the guy, though. This is the person that you've been waiting for. This makes it almost worth it. Just the prospects of something a little bit different. And I'm all about it. I love this pick. I know it's going to be some time. We're going to have to see how it plays out. But they got their man. And whether or not it plays out, good for them. It blows up in their face. That is, you can't take it away from Ryan Pace. That's what he does. And this is his guy. I think this is somebody who runs a Matt Nagy offense very well. So I think if you're going to go get your man, you got to go get your man. And it works out, right? This is, you get him on a quarterback contract. You're able to, it changes your fortune. It just changes the vibes of your organization. This is bigger than just the draft for next year or how this organization is right now when it comes to, it's, in my opinion, this is that shot in the arm, not just for the fan base, but for the organization, for the city. And here's the truth. This is not the same type of quarterback the Bears always get. This feels a little bit different. This is the guy with the high risk, high reward. But I've seen him in the biggest of stages. And, you know, it's funny how Trevor Lawrence gets a lot of love about being a competitor, right? But I remember Justin Fields right there with Trevor Lawrence saying, I want to play football. You don't see that in the media, though, right? Again, it's the slander of young men because billionaires are trying to mess with their money. And maybe for once it works out for the Bears. Now, if you're not willing to give Ryan Pace the benefit of the doubt of what he gave up, 100% understand that. But as of right now, I think Bears fans, you shouldn't be ecstatic because at least something is different and the future looks bright because Justin Fields is now your quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Thank you, guys. I want to know your thoughts. Let me know your comments down below. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about Justin Fields being the new starting quarterback. Theoretically, we'll see Don't want to tread on Andy Dalton, but it looks like at the very least we do have a new quarterback that will be leading the Monsters of the Midway. Maybe they gave up a lot, but it really doesn't matter at the end if he ends up being your quarterback for the next 15 years. And in a league where we've seen Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and we want to give Trevor Lawrence his flowers, I think you guys should be ecstatic. And this is coming from me, right? You guys know how I feel about this regime. But thank you guys so much. We'll be talking about it later. Leave your thoughts on the video right now on the comments section. We'll talk about it on the show. Enjoy the rest of your draft. I will be going to keep the studio up, as you guys can see. We are here in the Mercado Airwaves studio. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the rest of your night. We will be continuing to watch and monitor what's going on. The Chicago Bears have themselves a new quarterback in Justin Fields. Follow me on Twitter at Mike Media, Instagram, Mike Mercado Media. The show is on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk, and you can follow the network on Twitter at Mercado Airwaves. We'll talk to you guys soon. The Chicago Bears make a huge trade. Justin Fields is now a Chicago Bear. Crazy stuff, guys.